Well, there was a time when we were little kids, um, Buddy was playing his video games, and back then it was like the Nintendo system, so he was like completely ignoring me and Rochelle. So we went outside to play, and then when it got too hot, we went inside with the ball, and Rochelle called out to Buddy, but he was ignoring her. So she threw the ball at him, and it hit him in the head, and so he got mad, and he got the ball, and he threw it at her, and she blocked the ball, and the ball came to me, so I caught it. And the thing was, I thought we were playing like dodgeball in the house, and I said, "I'm gonna get you, Buddy," and I threw the ball at Buddy, but Buddy saw the ball coming too quick, and so he ducked, and then when he ducked, the ball hit one of Graham's crosses on the wall, and it made a loud crash when it fell on the floor, and it broke to pieces. And so we all froze up, and we all like stood around like the broken cross, like, uh-oh. And sure enough, it took like maybe like 15, 20 seconds. Grams comes in the room, and she's like, oh, Dios mío. And she's all like swearing and cussing and praying in Spanish at the same time. And she's yelling at us, who did this? Who did this? But the thing was, my cousin Rochelle was teaching us not to tell on each other, not to be a tattletale, not to be a rat. Today they call it snitching. And so she said it was important that if we're going to stick together as a team, we can't tell on each other. So nobody said anything. And I wasn't going to say who did it. And so Grams was getting mad because nobody was like telling her who did it. So she decided she was going to punish all three of us. And so she made all three of us get up and line up. Okay? And so what happened was Buddy was first, and then it was Rochelle, and then it was my turn. And so what happened was she gave Buddy a chance to confess, and Buddy was like all tight-lipped. You could tell he wanted to say something, but he didn't. And so she let him have it with the captain's belt. I mean, really have it. Whap, whap. And on the third whap, he actually like his body jumped up in the air. You could hear it snap. And so Buddy's like mumbling to himself, and he's like pacing around the room, like, rubbing his behind because it hurt. And then it was Rochelle's turn. And so Rochelle walks up like kind of like Clint Eastwood. You know what I mean? She was not afraid. And so she's like, wasn't me, Grams. And so Grams, like, whap, nothing from Rochelle. So, whap, no reaction. But I could tell it hurts. But she's holding it in. And on the third one, it was like, Rochelle was like, man, she was like ice cold. She was like, no expression. She was like holding it in. And if she had tears, we didn't see it because she was like solid. She was like taking that pain, And this really upset Grams, okay? Because she couldn't get to Rochelle that way, And while she was getting upset, I knew that I was next. And oh, man, she was really mad. And so I knew my punishment was going to be a lot harder. So without even thinking about it, I quickly stood right behind Buddy, who was still like mumbling to himself and rubbing his behind and not paying attention. So when Grams turned around, she thought it was me and grabbed Buddy again and just like did a quick whap, whap, whap. And she did one extra one. And that last one definitely made Buddy go off his feet on that one. And he screamed and he howled and he was like holding it all back in but screaming at the same time. And Grams was so mad, she like stormed out of the room. And the thing was, she didn't realize she didn't get me. She didn't realize that she got Buddy. So what happened was Buddy got it twice. Okay? So later on, I felt real bad, and so I tried to apologize to Buddy, but he ignored me like for a whole week. And Rochelle laughed at him for a whole week. And we all had to buy her a new cross. I never agreed to this exploitation of my family. I don't care what my religious grandmother says. I don't care what my criminal cousin says. Raise Rochelle, but I do advise you to call her Razor. In fact, I advise you not to interview her at all. She has a tendency to lose her temper.
So all this is for our fly trap? Look, I never been interviewed before, except by cops. But I know all my rights. Flytrap and I once took a night class for legal knowledge, and I got a solid B. What's weird is, Flytrap got the highest grade in class, and they offered him a job as a legal aid, but I told them no, because he was too busy helping me with my business.
Look, we already got him down. I really don't want to hurt him.
You're not going to hurt him. Just follow my lead.
Okay.
You're not with the police, right? Legally, you must tell me, and anything I say cannot incriminate me.
No, we're not with the cops. Let's start off with your name, please.
Oh, my name is Razor, and Flytrap is my cousin.
But your grandmother calls you Rochelle.
Only she calls me that. Some people call me Razor Rochelle, but you all call me Razor. Trust me, I earned that name. What are you snickering at, camera boy? You been to my streets? Let me show you something. Oh, the rest of you want some too?
Rochelle, put your stupid things away, now.
But they were laughing at me,
No,
Grant.
you don't. You don't scare the movie people anymore. Now, Rochelle.
Okay, now that we have established our working conditions, what is the next question?
Ooh. You're lucky Grams was there. This one guy, he made the mistake you all did, and let's just say that she carved a permanent smile across his face with a blade. But look, I really can't help you with this follow the weirdo project you got going on. As you could see, I am doing what's called self-quarantine, and I do not plan to step 1 foot outside. And if things weren't hard enough already, these really caring people at the management of this apartment complex sent out this letter to everybody saying that we still have to pay rent at the end of the month, regardless of all the government shutdowns of jobs.
How long do you think you'll last? What I mean is, do you really plan on staying locked up here with no outside contact until this thing ends?
I'm gonna be alright. You guys just keep going on filming my crazy family. I mean, if you want to follow around a bum, a gangster, and a crazy old lady, I guess that's what passes for entertainment. Who really knows how long this is going to last? Maybe a vaccine tomorrow? Maybe never. Maybe this is the end. Either way, I don't plan on doing anything outside. My job laid me off, and I guess you could call her girlfriend, Kira, video chats with me. I got plenty of food stocked up in the pantry. I got my online gaming, And I got a campaign going on with my gaming friend, Playataker.
Yes, Mrs. P. We're here with Buddy. And you were right.
Really? Hi, Grams.
Boy, you helped those movie people find Benny. He been gone for 3 days, and you need to find him and help them bring him home.
Grams, Benny, or Flytrap, as these people are probably calling the show. He'll be back. He'll run out of things to do with his imagination, or he'll get hungry and come back either way.
It's not the same this time. La Cerveza Cold is out there everywhere, and Benny is out there all alone, and he can get sick. Oh, Dios, please don't let my Benny get La Cerveza.
Grams, stop. You're stressing yourself out. I wouldn't even know where to look for him. Look, to us, he's Benny, but to the streets, he's the Flytrap. And Flytrap is like a little fly that buzzes around the trash and who knows what else in this filthy city. And where would I start?
Rachel tell me that he say that he go downtown to help with something. Hacer algo, I don't know. You find his friend Ivan.
No. 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 Not that crazy meth head bum. If you care so much for Benny, then why do you let him hang out with him? You know what? Never mind. I'll just risk my life with these people who I don't even know and look for your Benny, my unfortunate identical cousin, while you have Rochelle and your stupid dog safely at home.
I know you're upset with Benny too, being gone so long. For that, I forgive you. But I know that you'd rather be playing those stupid video games in your apartment until they kick you out. But remember, you still have us, tu familia. Now go out there and find him and bring him home to me. Ay, Dios, protege a mis niños, que no les dé la cerveza.
Grams? Hello? She hung up. Yeah, I'm fine. It's always like this after an argument with Grams. She is right. I care about my video games, and all I want to do is just be locked up in here. I'm not even sure if Kira's my girlfriend. I've only seen her in real life like maybe 2 or 3 times. She used to ask if she could drop by, and I'd always say no. You know, she shouldn't be out and about, and she needs to be in quarantine. Like, I guess, like 3 days ago, you know, he calls me up and he's rambling on about how he's got something important to do, some kind of a mission, and to tell Grams and his film crew that he'll be back. And I totally ignored the whole film crew thing. You see, with Benny or Flytrap, as you know him, he sees things and does things that's not normal to regular people. And it's important that you know this if you're going to document him. First of all, let me ask you a question. Why are you even filming Flytrap? I showed her how to play one time, and now she wants to join my team. This tournament's the only big thing I got going in my life right now. Player Taker is like my best teammate, and I would rather he coach her because I just don't have the time. But she's supposed to be my girlfriend, and it's kind of hard to say no. I hope she doesn't make us lose. Let's go. Come on, start it up. What's going on?
Why aren't we moving?
Why are you guys whispering? What's going on? What's happening?
Okay.
What?
It appears that we're having some car problems.
You're having car problems? Are you serious? You're supposed to be a documentary crew with a documentary truck. Let me guess, none of you are mechanics, right? Didn't think so. Pop the hood. I'll take a look. You know, if you're going to be a documentary crew, you got to have your vehicle ready at all times. I shouldn't be the one cleaning these terminals for you, you know.
Buddy, can you help fill us in on some information? We've been wanting to know specifically about your cousin.
Well, I guess everything's out in the open. What specifically do you want to know?
When we met your cousin, he introduced himself as Flytrap. And of course, your grandma refuses to call him that. Only her Benny.
Before I was Mrs. P, I was a beautiful ballerina. And all I did all the time was dance and dance. And I go to church, and I know how to pray. Oh, Dios, yes. I could pray, and I could sew. And I did lots of sewing for the town. And I make dresses. Now I make masks. Yes, Buddy. Buddy was named after my husband's favorite musician, Buddy Holly. He once took me in secret to his concert to see him play his music. He sang so wonderfully. And then he took us backstage to meet him. And Buddy Holly said to me, "Keep on rockin' and rollin', beautiful." Oh, yes. Buddy Sr. and I cried on the day the music died. Yes, but Buddy doesn't know things like that. Rachel was named after my husband's mother, and she didn't really like me.
Oh, that. Yeah. Yeah. You see, my grandfather, I mean, he was a good guy. He did well by us, you know. His real name was Benjamin, but everybody called him Benny. And so, of course, he liked a lot of things, you know. He liked fast cars. He liked rock and roll. His favorite musician was Buddy Holly. That's why they named me Buddy, you know. And so when they named Benny after him, I thought, you know, Benny would be proud of his namesake. But he ruined it. Thank you for the food. I really, really, really appreciate it. I've been starving and I've been on my feet all day. Well, I got the name Flytrap because of No, I got the name Flytrap. You know, I've had that name since I was a kid. And I got it because of... Where did I get it from? Oh, it was camping! That's right. I got it when we were camping. And Buddy was there. And... You know, you should ask Buddy because he probably remembers better than I can right now. I just can't seem to remember. Yeah, he does things like that. Where was I? Right. When we were kids, we would go to Catholic summer camp, thanks to Graham's connections with the churches. And when we get there, they would separate the boys and the girls in the camp. So Rochelle was with the girls on one side of the camp. And so on one of the days, we had to do a hiking trip. And we had to have our gear together. And part of our gear included bug repellent. So I had my gear together. And then Benny comes up to me. He seemed to have his gear together. And then he asked if he could borrow bug repellent. And I said no. I mean, at the time, I thought he should have been more prepared. So Benny walks off to this tool shed, and then the hiking begins. And so we're heading off into the woods. I can hear the door close from the tool shed and Benny trying to catch up with us. And we hike on into the woods and we keep on hiking. And we're hiking. And Benny's catching up to us. And by the time Benny catches up to us, that's when it happened.
Are you okay, buddy?
Yeah, I'm fine. So we're all hiking 5 miles into the woods. And that's when I hear the giggling. And then I hear more giggling from behind me. And so finally I look back to see what's up, what's so funny. And right there, my dumb cousin is wrapped up in spools of fly trap paper. It's around his legs, his torso, his arms, and yes, his whole face. I ask him, Benny, why did you do this? And then Benny looks at me and he smiles and he says that he did it because he didn't want to bother me about using my bug repellent spray. Since then, the kids just started calling him Flytrap. Then the story spread to the girls' side of the camp, and they started calling him Flytrap. I think Rochelle beat up a girl that took it too far. But the funny thing is, after that moment, all the kids seemed to accept him, and he made a lot of friends. So that damn name stuck, literally, after that.
We are not dysfunctional. We are proud Catholics, proud Católicos.
Now, this one right here, this works if you just want to scare someone. It gets the job done. But this one, this is the hollow point. You want to send somebody to the emergency room? This is what you use. Now, if you want to be sneaky, you use the rifle bullet, especially with a scope.
Okay, the church barely let me in right now, but since they know Grams, they understand the situation. Okay, apparently Flytrap was here about 2-3 days ago. He wanted to light a candle or something, but they were shutting the doors at the time. And the interesting thing is, though, he showed up with some bald, strange-looking fella, as they called him. So that tells me only one thing. That could only be...
You don't mean...
Yep. His homeless buddy, Ivan.
Well, these things here, these are my pride and joy in the city. these things, you know, when the zombie apocalypse hits, well, I'm gonna use it as a tank. Because zombies, they can't jump. They just crawl on the ground, kind of walk around. It's gonna be Sir Ivan's tank.
I'm sorry again. It's just hard to think clearly sometimes without my smoke. And sometimes with it. I met Flytrap a few years ago when we were put up under 72-hour psych evaluation. Again. He was under observation too. You just don't understand bright-minded people. I can't see clear with my mind.
You see, those are the kind of people he hangs out with. And Grams just lets him. And she wonders why he gets in trouble.
So tell me, Flytrap, how did you and Ivan meet?
Oh, we met some years ago. What happened was, I kind of got caught up in one of Razor's business schemes, and well, long story short, we had to run for it from the cops, and they surrounded us with a SWAT team, and so when they took us in to custody, they put Razor in the women's jail, and when I got there, they said there was something wrong with me, so they set me up for a 72-hour psychiatric evaluation in the state hospital. So while I was there, there were a bunch of weirdos there, but I met this cool guy, and his name was Ivan, and see, they call him Sir Ivan when he behaves, and when he gets really irrational, the staff calls him Ivan the Terrible. And it seems that we had a lot in common, you know. Ivan believes in UFOs, and he believes that the government's after us, and he believes that they're trying to do population control, and you know, he believes that people like us are being put down in society, while the rich are eating the poor. Gosh, man, this guy smoked so much cheap, stepped-on meth that he could be a technical advisor for some drug show movie.
I messed up when I was younger, I guess. I mistreated an elephant at a circus. I think all he wanted was peanuts. I don't know, stupid elephants! They're after me, all of them. Sorry, I get a bit worked up about elephants. But they're everywhere. You just couldn't believe it. They're everywhere. They'll poop on you too, and they can squash you. All they gotta do is step on you. They're a lot bigger than me. Makes me want to smoke more. That's all it does. Every time I see elephants, it scares me. So if there's elephants around, we can't even do this interview if there's elephants around.
Okay, well look, I have no idea where Flytrap would be now, but I do know where Ivan hangs out, and I'm willing to go there, but not alone.
Who are you calling?
Well, right now it's prayer time, so I'm actually texting. And I hate doing this, but I'm going to need help on this one. If I'm going to go up against a lunatic, I need a crazier lunatic to help me.
Dios, 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 Padre nuestro, que estás en el cielo, santificado sea tu nombre. Vénganos tu reino.
Okay, as you can see, you gave me this dumb camera to capture whatever happens to me. That is Ivan. Hopefully he's Sir Ivan today. I know him, he knows me, so I think it's safe for you guys to just stay back, okay? Okay. Here we go. Ivan, buddy, Sir Ivan. Hey,
Huh?
Ivan, how you doing?
Flytrap, you made it back, thank the gods!
No. I'm
What?
not Flytrap.
Why do you look like a nerd?
Because I'm Buddy, his cousin. But listen, no. Listen.
You're that evil demon!
No.
Coming to take Flytrap's soul!
We're looking for Flytrap right now. Okay. I see. I gotta go. This is not gonna work out.
Nobody ought to place Flytrap!
God.
Ah!
Oh, jeez.
Here, hold this.
Oh, what the? Oh my gosh. Oh, what am I gonna do with this? I can't have a weapon on me. Oh no. Razor,
Warned you what's gonna
stop.
happen if you mess with the family, didn't I?
Razor, stop, please. Let me talk to him. Please. Okay, now listen.
I'm sorry.
Don't apologize to me, you dummy. Apologize to Razor. She's killing you.
I'm sorry. I thought he was a demon again.
He's no demon, Ivan. Watch yourself. He's too much of a pain in the ass to the devil. Now where is Flytrap? Grams is going nuts at home.
Yeah, he tried to go into the church to run errands for his grandmother, but they wouldn't let me in. I got too many demons inside. Inquisition.
That really hurt.
The last time she beat him up was because Ivan and I we spent a whole entire weekend of collecting recyclables, and Ivan went panhandling, and he actually made like $20. And so what happened was I didn't know, but Grams needed me at the house, and apparently Razor had her own plans for me for her business, and they both couldn't find me, and so they started arguing with each other. So Grams kicked Razor out of the house and told her she couldn't come home until she found me. And so Razor spent like the whole day looking for me, and by the time she found us, she was so upset that she blamed Ivan for keeping me away and ruining her day and her business. And Ivan started talking back to her, which you don't do when Razor's mad. So she ended up punching him in the mouth, and I know she knocked some teeth loose. And so to make matters worse, while he's on the ground holding his mouth bleeding out, Razor took his $20 and said that was compensation, and then grabbed me by the collar and dragged me away. And before we went to Graham's house, we had to go finish off her business. And well, she said what the loot she made, that it kind of made up for me not being there for her on time. So she was happy at the end of the day.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to try to cut you up with my machete. I just thought you were a demon again. I apologize.
It's cool.
Could he really use a smoke right now after that beatdown? That's for certain. Got any?
For all we know, if we keep driving, knowing Flytrap, he...
No, wait, my machete, no!
Let's get in the food truck and get the hell out of here. Come
Let's
on.
do it. This isn't the first time I had to save Buddy. Been defending him since he first foolishly brought his toys out and the neighborhood kids tried to take them. He brings it on himself.
What do you mean? He brings it on himself.
Buddy's always been stubborn, hard-headed, especially when it came to Grams and her strictness.
Are you referring to your grandmother and her methods of punishment?
Yeah, the captain's belt.
Oh, yes. This is the famous captain's belt.
You see, we all got the belt for different things growing up. But Buddy, he always had to push the limits like he refused to learn. He got more mileage out of that belt than he really needed to.
You see, I had a woman relative that was a revolutionist, and she joined Pancho Villa's army. After her no-good husband kicked her out of her own home. She was in many battles with the Federales. She met Zapata. She met Benito Juarez. Oh, yes, yes. She even met the notorious Sons of the Morning and learned to tell the tale. Ay, Dios mío, bendito Dios. Oh, yes.
I could write a whole book about it, but here are some quick ones. Flytrap used to carry a small children's Bible as a kid. One time when he was on the porch reading about love and stuff for people, Buddy was getting irritated and lectured him on how it was pretty much the same philosophy as Buddhism. In fact, he claimed that Jesus was probably Buddhist, since he traveled to India on the Silk Road. Grams overheard the whole thing and dragged Buddy into the house so the neighbors couldn't see. Now, in all fairness, she gave Buddy a chance to take it back, since he was a kid and didn't know any better. Buddy refused and stood his ground. He didn't stand too long after a few smacks from the captain's belt, but he never took it back.
She helped General Villa conquer the enemy army and take over their fort. This fort was run by a very bad captain. He was a very bad man, and he abused everybody around him. So General Villa take the captain belt and give it to my relative and tell her, you beat that captain with the right hand of God. And she did. And she beat him, and she beat him until he promised Dios that he would change his ways. So she kept the captain's belt and rode all the way back home to Texas. And once there, she again took the captain's belt, and she beat that no-good husband of hers out of her home and out of her life. And she raised her children. And if they misbehaved or got out of line in the eyes of God, then they too got the captain's belt.
Does Buddy hold any resentment towards Flytrap? Like, is it because they're so identical, yet so different?
I really shouldn't be telling you this family secret, but it's a weird day and we're in weird times. Supposedly, my tias, my aunts who were twins, were secretly seeing the same man behind each other's backs. When Grams found out they were both pregnant, she was about to put a hit out on this guy. But Grams had a better solution. He drove the guy to a downtown alley and gave him a bus ticket to somewhere north. It was either take the permanent trip or take a permanent 38 bullet to the head. But he always acted like he never needed Flytrap for anything. Not me, though. There's been times when I need a Flytrap to help me with some business claims.
I'm so tired and hungry. And listen, you promised this time I'm going to get my share of the cut.
Yes, would I lie to you?
I'm hungry. I hope Gramps made something to eat, man. I'm starving. Gramps, I'm hungry. We need something to... Run!
Rachel, come here. Mr. Pete called.
Who?
Mr. Pete Bronstrom. His house was robbed by a rabbit and a cochino pig.
It wasn't us.
Yes, it was. Get over here, or he's going to take your punishment.
Remember when we talked about teamwork?
Yes.
Take one for the team. Thanks, bro. I'll you one.
Okay. You're coming back, right?
Rachel,
She's
over here.
She's coming back, man.
You alright?
be okay. You see, Razor Rochelle says that to be successful, you have to be a successful team member. So this was for taking one for the team, and it's the price you pay to be a successful businessman.
Time's up. Get in here, Cochino.
I'm coming, Grams. I gotta go for my beating.
But wait, didn't you just take one?
Oh, yeah, that first one was for the team. This one's my punishment. I'll see you guys later. Oh. Coming, Grams.
Thanks for helping us look for Flytrap and with Ivan.
Okay, I didn't need any help with Ivan.
First off, yes, you needed help. Why else did you call me? Secondly, thanks for the ride. I took an Uber to get here. Since Flytrap and I got banned from riding with them, Grams had to pay. Oh, Grams is driving me nuts about the search.
Rachel, no splash floor. And those dishes, they're still crusty. Wash them again.
I'm beginning to understand your family situation a little bit better now.
Oh yeah, we're a loving, humiliating family.
You're still upset about the buffet, aren't you?
No, don't bring that up.
Right before this whole pandemic thing hit. In fact, it was the last outing we had. We all went to eat at this buffet.
Wait a minute. So we're going on with this story?
Ever since this punk could hold a spoon, he's had an unnatural eating disorder with cheese macaroni.
Well, there's nothing wrong with macaroni, first of all, okay? It has vitamin D, it has dairy, and it has pasta.
Anyways, this freak could not control himself for one day. He gets a huge plate full of macaroni, emptying out the buffet tray, brings it back to the table, and starts to pick at it along with the rest of his food. Grams told him to share it with everyone since he took it all, but no, guess who had to prove his point?
Look, I try to explain to Grams that first of all, this is a buffet. They're going to bring more macaroni out to the buffet trays over there. And secondly, it's very unhygienic to share from the same plate, especially when you're eating with someone like Flytrap.
I mean, yeah, that sounds reasonable.
Grams reasonable? Here's what happened to Mr. Macaroni and Mrs. Reasonable. Grams yanks him by the arm, pulls him into the kitchen, and you can hear them both arguing, and all of a sudden, whap! As soon as we heard the old captain's bell go off, you see all these busboys and cooks run out the kitchen like a Vice or some other government fascist agency just raided.
Buddy, you mean she's still...
Yes! You can't teach an old holy roller new tricks. And the best part was when this dude came back out of the kitchen, he's literally moping because he just got his butt whipped. And he starts to share his macaroni. While Flytrap is eating his, Graham starts laughing. She sees a busboy put out a new tray of macaroni. And Graham says, I guess they did make more macaroni after all.
Well, that went well, buddy. Doing okay?
Sure he is. Buddy's used to getting dumped all the time.
Well, you know,
Are you okay, Flytrap?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm okay. I think I got hit by a truck or an elephant.
Where have you been? We've been looking for you all over the place. You know, I had to deal with that lunatic, that Sir Ivan.
You dealt with him, huh?
Well, you know what I mean.
Graham sent us all out looking out for you. Where were you? Never mind. Graham's is looking at us through the window.
I know it sounds silly, but what if it's true and well, it could have been one of the elephant mobs that hit me by accident, 'cause I hang out with Ivan.
You gotta go along with the story. Now listen, let's get our act together. Grams is really upset, okay? We found you. You got that? Go along with it. You wanna keep your little TV show? You wanna keep your little camera crew?
We brought you back.
We brought you back. Okay, we can do this. 1, 2, 3. Grams, we found him.
I found
You
him.
found him! Oh, Dios mío! Gracias, Dios! Oh! Buddy, shut the door!
We found him.
Gracias, Dios mío, gracias. You gave me back my little Mosca. Thank you, God, thank you.
Amen.
Rachel, you don't finish the dishes.
But you sent me to go help Buddy because you said that boy's probably lost too.
Rachel, dishes.
Yeah, you heard her. Go do the dishes, maid.
Shut up, punk. Go practice washing your underwears for your future prison husbands.
I was not lost, Grams. You know, I risked my life and the crew's life and even her life looking for him who's out in the streets playing in the trash.
I was worried. Rachel was worried. The film people were worried. He was worried. We all were worried. Where were you?
I guess I was worried.
Vámonos para adentro. Where you been? Take off that space mask.
It's a gas mask.
For 3 days, Rachel and I have been praying for you to be found. I got movie people looking for you. I even got Lazy Buddy
Listen.
to go look for you and bring you home.
Okay, Grams, listen. Before I talk to the captain's belt, let me explain what happened, okay? I know you're working really hard on your sewing machines, and we've been praying a lot, and I felt that your prayers needed to be heard better, so I took it upon a mission of myself because I heard a voice telling me to go to the church and to deliver your prayers. So I went really quickly to the church. I took 2 buses to get downtown, and then when I get to the church, they're locking the doors, and they're telling me they're not letting anybody in. Maybe they'll let me in tomorrow. And I plead with them, and they recognize me, and they say, "Oh, yeah, you're that dirty kid, that Mrs. P's grandson. Well, she's a very good church lady, and they gave me this to give to you because you're such a good Catholic that they didn't forget about you. And this is for you."
Dios. Oh, qué belleza. Dios mío, gracias. Gracias.
Yeah, see, and so what happened was, I wanted to go back to the church, so I spent the night across the street at the park at the bench, waiting for them to open, but they never opened up again, and so I spent the day, putting my mask together, so I'd be a lot safer, just in case they open up, and they weren't opening, and so what happens is, I see the fabric store, and then I remember you ran out of fabric for your mask. So I wanted to go inside and get you fabric, but what happened was I didn't have enough money. So with my new mask and everything, I had to spend the 3rd day going around. I had to pick up plastics and cans and aluminum, and I had enough money to go in to the fabric store. And so when I went there, I bought the material you need so you could finish your face mask.
Oh, and it's the good one too.
Yeah.
Now I can finish the masks for everyone. But why you no call me?
Okay. This is what happened. I was in such a rush that I didn't charge my cell phone up all the way. So by the time I was locked out of the church, and on the first day, I pulled out my cell phone and I only saw that I only had 2% battery. And I asked people if they had a phone charger. Can you believe nobody will lend me a phone charger? These people are rude. Anyway, so I figured, okay, I couldn't call you because you don't drive anymore, and plus you don't let Razor use the car anymore after that police chasing incident.
Oh, finally the police listened to me and they let her go.
I think it was a mistake. But anyway, so I thought, who is the most responsible person? And so I called Buddy. See, I used my one call to Buddy, and I explained everything about my mission. I told him where I was at the church and what I was trying to do, and I told him that I didn't have enough money to make it back on the bus, and so I asked him, I said, Buddy, please, come pick me up and take me back to Grams. But I don't think he was paying attention. I think he was playing his video games because he kept on going, yeah. You know that sound he makes when he plays his video games? Yeah. And I was telling him that I had to get home and that the film people were waiting for me. And it was dangerous on the streets. And when he finally said, yeah, and it cut off like that because I ran out of cell phone. And so what happened was I had to start walking home, and it took a long time, but I finally made it. And it was Razor and Buddy that found me. Okay, so I know you're mad, but please don't be so mad at them, and especially don't be so mad at Buddy if you can. I appreciate that, even though he didn't pick me up. He should have gotten it with the captain's belt by now.
Benny, mi mosquito, I miss your grandfather so much.
Me too.
You are the only Benny I have left. Don't you never go away for so long again. No disappear from me.
No, I promise I won't do that again. I'm sorry, Grams. I won't do it again. If I go, I'll leave you a note. If not, I'll show you how to text. And if you don't know how to text, Razor will show you how to text also. I'm sorry, Grams.
Mi mosquito, go to the kitchen. Help Rachel with the dishes.
Okay. I love you, Grams.
I love you too, mosquito.
Okay. I'll go help.
Buddy boy, get in here.
Typical. He gets away with it again. It's always like this every time. I can't believe this. After everything we went through.
Buddy, you come here. Now!
You stay and you keep that camera rolling. I need a witness so you can film the madness I have to put up with in this family.
Hey, Grams.
You abandoned Benny to this crazy world over your dumb video games.
Well, I didn't mean to abandon him. I mean, and besides, he's too crazy for this world to deal with anyway. You know what, Grams? You never asked how Rochelle or myself are doing. If we're safe out there. You know, you only care about how Benny, your little mosquito, how the fly trap is doing. You know, you express no concern for the rest of us.
I see. You're right, huh? See? Let me show you some concern.
Hold on, Grams. Hold
Come
on, Grams.
here.
Grams, wait. Ow! Ah! Ow!
What's happening is Buddy's having another family intervention with Grams and the captain's belt. I think they're going to settle things, and I think everything's going to be all right after and square things away. And it's good for Gramps to get this out of her system. And maybe Buddy might learn something better about himself as well.
I left him alone. He get lost.
I hope you have enough footage for your freak show documentary. I'm going back to my apartment, and I'm never coming back here again.
You don't have no home to go back to anymore. Your apartment manager said your time is up, and out of respect for me, he packed your stuff and it is waiting for you to go pick it up. You losing your job and not paying rent is not your fault. That is why you live in the garage until everything gets better. I could never let you be lazy and quit.
Buddy!
It seems that my cousin Buddy caught the cerveza cold after all. We all took the test, including you movie people, and everyone is cleared, except for Buddy. He's been recovering now for 2 weeks and seems to be getting better. They did find something interesting with Flytrap.
Well, it turns out that I'm one of those people that don't get sick from this. I don't know why, but the scientists said that I have so many antibodies in my body that I might as well have 2 bodies. So that's why I'm helping take care of Buddy until he recovers.
Would you believe it? I self-quarantine, and I isolate myself from everybody. And then I have to go chase down my crazy cousin. I followed all the trails and paths that Benny the Flytrap took, and I'm the one that ended up getting sick. I am thankful that Benny's helping taking care of me right now, and I'm thankful that Razor's providing for the family at this time. But I am thankful, though, that nobody else in the family got sick. I'd rather it just be me. And yes, I'm even thankful for Grams for letting me stay and live in the garage. It is a bit crowded, but I'd rather live here in the garage than inside the house with those 3 lunatics. So, to make it up to everyone, I invited Benny and Razor to join my online campaign team. And together, we're going to win this thing.
What do you got there?
Oh, nothing. Just something I got out of the dumpster. I mean, if you want your TV, don't leave your windows open. Anyway, now that I'm stuck with Buddy living in the garage, I thought I'd do something nice for him.
Okay, this is it. Benny, we need the Flytrap. You're going to be our sneaky spy in every mission.
I'm ready.
Razor, you're going to be our assassin. On every mission, take out all our enemies.
They won't know what hit them.
Okay, this is it. Let's go!
Oh, if I ever inherit the captain's belt, well, I figure that belt has a lot of history. It's been through a war, and it disciplined many generations in our family up to this day. So I think if I ever inherit the belt, I'm going to put it on loan to a museum so everyone can see and learn from it, because it's pretty historical.
Buddy's going to live in the garage, but that's okay. It'll be my garage one day. I paid off all Graham's bingo debts and will inherit the house and the captain's belt one day. The belt is power.
What would I do if I end up owning Graham's captain's belt? That's a good question, because I've been thinking about that for a very long time. What I would do is grab that belt and chase Razor and Flytrap out of the house. I would hire the loudest, raunchiest rock band to play in the backyard. I would set a big bonfire in the middle of that yard. I invite all my friends and people I don't even know to show up. I would even invite and hire those, I think they're called exotic dancers, to start dancing through the whole thing. I have a whole keg of beer and all these booze there, and we have a big loud party. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to set that bonfire alight like a big pagan flame, and at the highlight of the party I'm going to get the captain's belt and throw it in there so the devil can take it back to Graham's.